it's Dr. Dan Purser, danpursermd.com, my Facebook Live on my stem cell procedure. Brecken's going to interview me. Sorry we're 5 minutes late getting started. It's 11:35. That's because I was practicing ballet dancing out in the room out there and got
you
a little...
mean crying over there? No, I'm just kidding. He doesn't
You
cry
guys are
once.
crying, but because I look like Bubba the Whale out there dancing around. Okay.
Bubba the Whale.
Jackson is to the left of me, and he's going to play the theme song this week.
Can you pass it to me?
Where's the kalimba thing?
Oh, Will has it.
Well, why you got to give up the kalimba, man? Will's been practicing too.
I don't know if this is in tune. It's been a while.
You worked pretty hard on that this time, didn't you?
Very.
Is that like the good luck tone for my stem cells?
Sure.
Yes.
The vibration will help them heal even better.
That is scientifically sound, yes.
Yeah, it's good data there. First of all, let me just say this. A week from this Saturday, at the Young Living Essential Oil Convention at the Salt Palace, I am speaking on main stage. You need to be there. You need to be ready. Get your little smartphones out because you're going to take a lot of pictures of my slides because there's a lot of info I'm going to do. There's not that many slides. I think I have 8 slides or something like that, but they're packed with info, and I only get 20 minutes. So I want that room packed, crowded with all my fans and all you guys who watch this video this week. Be there or be square. So anyway, I'm going to be at the Young Living Convention, and I'm going to be talking about hormones, hormone replacement therapy, and what options you have, all kinds of cool things, and maybe even hints at the future. So, okay, Brecken's here to interview me. Will's running the camera. Will, wave to the crowd. Will wave. And Brecken's going to interview me, and I don't know how many questions there are. I started out to make 10. I think I made 312.
There's a lot of questions.
Okay, sorry. Well, let's get rolling through them. These people are eating lunch and watching us. Let's
Okay.
do this thing.
Okay, why did you get stem cells?
My knee was horrible. It just collapsed about 6 weeks ago. 6 weeks ago. It was terrible.
Yeah.
It just went from normal, kind of achy a little, to bone-on-bone crap. That was just, every step I took was agonal. It was literally horrible, like a knife in my knee. You guys saw me.
Yeah.
I was using a cane. I couldn't walk around. I was crying. It was bad.
It was scary. Like Will said, it was just suddenly it came on. It was just like, boom.
Yeah, my
You were
life
walking
just,
and then
suddenly I'm almost bedridden and hiding in my house, and I have to be, you guys said they start sedan carrying me everywhere. I have to be the 4 little goobers carrying me everywhere. It's kind of cool, but okay, maybe we used a wheelchair, but I mean, it was bad.
Yeah.
So when I saw an orthopedist, and he said, you need to get your knee replaced. You could probably stretch this out as long as you can. Mistake number 1. And I tried doing that for a week or 2, and we're going to talk about that, but that's a big mistake. But and I just couldn't do it. And so, okay. So also I talked to a number of patients, but we'll get into this further in the question. So
Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad was your knee pain?
it was a 9 or 10 every step. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rotten.
Ish. And it was always that level 10, or did it fluctuate?
I was using the Serum X on it, which helped it quite a bit, especially when I was in bed at night, so I could sleep. Didn't have any pain then, but the minute I stepped, no matter what I did, I even took a leave, which I hardly ever do. I was
Never.
max dose on that, didn't help. Nothing helped. I even tried pain meds, didn't help. Nothing helped.
Yeah.
And I'm really sensitive to pain meds. You give me half a tramadol, I'm out for 2 days. But man, nothing worked on that. It was terrible.
So why not get a knee replacement?
Yeah, that's what most Western MDs would do, I guess. But I'd had friends who'd gotten stem cells with good results. I talked to a number of my patients who I knew had gotten knee surgery. They all said this: solid year recovery, rehab for a year, and it hurts, and it is bad. The first month or 2 or 3 are horrible, and they wish they hadn't had it done. Also, almost every patient I talked to who had problems with their knee surgery had to have it replaced again. That was a really bad sign. I know that's not a huge number. It's kind of anecdotal, but wow, really? The other problem I have is I already have titanium hip and pelvis on the right from that car accident. More titanium did not appeal to me
No.
because I know we react, we clump cells, we do a lot of things to that titanium. No matter what they say, trust me, it's going on, and it's bad. So I just didn't want more. Another piece of my body gone. No, I didn't want that. And so I started researching stem cells. I looked a lot on YouTube, which I advise you guys to all do, and we're going to talk about all that. But then I called a friend of mine, Rich Rosenthal, over at Nexus, and I think it's just Rich Rosenthal now. I don't think he's attached to Nexus, but he's an MD. He's chairman of the National Pain Association. Are you kidding me? I think he's done over 100,000 stem cells. That's my guesstimate. We'll interview him eventually and find out how many he's really done. But he just said, yeah, one procedure, you should be good. Maybe two, but I've rarely had to do three. And I was reading about all these other guys who are doing 8 or 9 procedures on people. That's what they were advising. No, man, no. One stem cell procedure. And I was kind of like, wow. He said, you'll be walking that night. What he didn't tell me was that I'd be walking in agony that night, but just that first night. So, okay. Anyway, so that's why I did the stem cells. I thought, I'll try it. I'll give it 2 or 3 attempts. If I have the money, I'll do it. He's cheap. It was $4,500 a procedure, which is really cheap. This is Utah, and he's the man. He's chair of the American Pain Society. He's got more experience than anyone doing them. He's just awesome.
Well, and can a knee replacement fail at times?
That's what I just said. Those patients all said they'd failed.
Yeah.
And they had to wait a year because they're not going to do it within a year because then the surgeon has to pay for it. If they make it go more than a year, then the insurance has to pay for it again.
And that's what they have to do.
That's what everyone's like, yeah, and I asked them, why'd you do it? They said, because my insurance to cover it, I didn't have the money. But a couple of them were like, wait, stem cells work? I'm like, they appear to be working with me. But
yeah.
I mean, that's a punchline. I just give away the punchline right there. But
well, what are stem cells?
Stem cells are they're not the pluripotent kind of stem cells. These are from your bone marrow. So the first thing he did was give me some pain medicine when I came in. It kind of made me goofy, knocked me out a little. Then he did a bone marrow biopsy, spun it, got the stem cells off. They're theoretically should reform your cartilage, your joint space, everything else. I watched a number of videos. There's a big debate, or used to be a big debate that would do that or not. I think the videos and MRIs and all that stuff now show that it does tend to just rebuild everything.
Man.
So they're really basic cells that go in there and get signaled to do a lot of different things. So you got to move your knee certain ways, all that to help signal it afterwards. But anyway, yeah, my results have been incredible.
Yeah.
So, okay.
You mentioned that the stem cells come from your bone marrow?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Back here near your spine, but over about 2 or 3 inches. And you're asleep. He does a punch biopsy, and I don't want to be awake for that.
Sounds intense.
And sucked out my bone marrow, and then they spin it down, and that's what they take off the stem cell portion of it. They know how to do that, the concentrated portion, and then they re-inject it.
It's amazing, actually.
And he did a double dose for me, which is really nice. I didn't pay extra for it, I think, just because we're friends, but yeah.
And what is a PRP injection?
That's platelet-rich plasma. That's a lot cheaper, but I don't think I think the debate's over now. It used to be a few years ago, everyone was debating they're kind of the same thing. Studies showed they're somewhat similar, blah, blah, blah. But I think there are too many variables in those studies and those article reviews, and they just aren't going to act like stem cells. They put signals out, making your body, your cells in your knee think they're stem cells. I don't get that. So I didn't go for that. It would have been a lot cheaper, and I don't know if Rich does those, but Dr. Rosenthal does those, but I didn't do them.
Yeah.
I wanted this to work. I felt totally trapped and debilitated with my knee.
Yeah.
I was suddenly just hiding in the house. I couldn't get up the stairs here. It was horrible. Mm-hmm. I was in agony.
Yeah.
And so I called him that Thursday morning, and said, hey, if you have another opening, someone drops out or something, can I get in? Because I was going to have to wait another month because he's super busy. He said, yeah, I had someone drop out today at 3. And I said, I'll be there. And I was there, and man, he got me.
So do you think bone marrow or mesenchymal?
Yeah, you said it right.
Yes.
Mesenchymal stem cells are better than the PRP
Yeah.
cells. Yeah.
So why?
Because I think they're capable of doing all the things you want them to do. And let me back up. The earlier you do this, the better. If you start to get bone on bone or a tear in your knee that's not your meniscus or whatever that's not healing, or it's getting worse, you feel it catches, it's just agony. You've had surgery on it, it's not working. Listen to me now. Get the stem cells now. Don't put off, because the less structure you have left in there, the harder it is for them to work, and more work they have to do.
Yeah.
So you want them to give. Helps if they have some structure to form along and copy. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it's like they're little nanobots going in there doing their job, but they need some idea what to do. They're God's nanobots. How about that? What they are. So yeah, I think bone marrow stem cells are more. There's pluripotent stem cells they get from women's
Placenta, right?
placenta, but I wouldn't use those. Those scare me. So no one's really using those right now.
Yeah.
So, but these stem cells,
Well, using your own makes sense.
yeah.
If you can.
And I did a lot of stuff to prep for this. Don't get me wrong. I did that CNA and redox panel. My vitamins are good. Antioxidants are really good right now. And my hormones are all good. Really important that those are good. Even for the month or 2 or 3 after, especially, and for the month before. I used a lot of glutathione, Vars glutathione on our knee. We have that new Revive that's coming out soon, right? And I was using Serum X on my knee, both 2 super antioxidants, just to help clean things up and keep them clean. And we'll talk more about those because they've become a savior for me after this.
Yeah.
I mean, not the real savior, but you know what I mean, savior of my knee at least. So yeah, so I had all that lined up. I did all that for success, and I did exercise and stuff like that, just so my knee would be ready.
Yeah. That's
And then it just hit me 4 weeks earlier than I thought it would, but I'm glad because I couldn't stand it.
Yeah. So what do the mesenchymal stem cells do when injected into
They
your knee?
get busy. Stem cells, those mesenchymal stem cells get really. So it said mesenchymal, but it looks like mesenchymal. We've been debating
I
that, but those mesenchymal stem cells, they get real busy. Your knee gets hot because they're in there doing massive work. They're restructuring. They're doing all this. You can feel them bubbling the first 3 or 4 days. I swear I could feel them
Man.
bubbling in there like worms.
Ew.
You can feel them all just kind of jelly full of worms in there.
I don't like that.
Sorry, but it's the way it felt. It's kind of
Ew.
weird. It's like a sponge appeared in my knee.
Yeah.
But you can feel them and your knee gets hot. So I thought that's when I started really putting on the glutathione spray. It'd cool my knee off. My pain would go away. It was crazy.
Man.
Remember in those preclinical studies we did with burns and stuff, it did kind of the same thing. It caused complete renewal of skin, which the FDA says it'll do for cosmetics. Complete renewal and rejuvenation of skin.
Yeah.
It did that even on 3rd-degree or full thickness burns. So I thought it would do the same thing in stem cells.
Yeah.
So it probably helps me the most. Serum X next. So stem cells are the glutathione kind of gets rid of 20% of the pain, inflammation. I don't completely understand why,
Yeah.
but it does for some reason. And then the Serum X just gets rid of the rest of the pain. There's nothing in there.
Yeah.
No pain.
It's amazing.
We'll show that here in a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I just keep doing it. I'm doing it less and less because my pain, my discomfort, not pain now. It's more like kind of an achy, weird thing, but not that sharp agonal pain I had
Yeah.
before. But something's going on in there still. I'm 2.5 weeks out.
Yeah.
I'm nowhere.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
What do fluoroscope images show after the injection of stem cells?
You can go on YouTube and look at all that stuff. Look at the MRIs. Look at how the knee changes and reverts back. How things start to heal, and your structures kind of rebuild. Now with stem cells, we know that occurs to a certain extent. It's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're putting stuff, nanobots in there to rebuild your knee, kind of.
It's amazing.
It's
It's like
crazy.
sci-fi.
Yeah, I remember it's the wiggly worm thing. It's in there working.
Ugh.
Yeah. Well, it's what it feels like.
And
So,
what does an
It's
MRI?
not uncomfortable. It's not weird. It's
Yeah.
just, you can kind of gently feel it going on. You're like, wow.
Tingly.
Not tingly, just funky.
Yeah.
Like tapioca pudding in there. I don't know how to describe it.
I just don't even know.
Okay.
What do MRI images show after injections? Same thing.
Same, yeah, just more details. Yeah, you can see the knees slowly rebuilding. That's what I was hoping that would happen to mine. Rich, I think he told me that it works about 85% of the time with his patients. One dose, maybe and two, the rest of them. He gets some failures, but if some doctor like that top guy in Colorado says, you might need 8 or 9. What? No.
Yeah.
Okay, you better be rich going in there to do that. Have 50,000 laying around because he's a lot more than Rosenthal. But Rich Rosenthal, there's a reason he's the best in the country at what he does.
So do the structures reform in your knee like the menisci or the fat pads?
I think they do. Yeah. It feels like they're doing that now. My knee feels like I have a lubricated sponge in there when I walk.
Yeah.
I can feel the thickness and everything. It's kind of weird.
So you're kind of like a baby. You know how they don't have kneecaps when they're born?
Really?
Right?
Oh, I have kneecaps.
But like it's kind of reforming, restructuring.
Behind it, yeah, the fat pad and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be because it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
It's just, I can move around.
So weird.
If I stand on it too much, like 20, 30 minutes, it's going to get a little achy.
Mhm.
I don't want any inflammation going on there, so I sit down, I revive up, and then I put the Serum X on, and then 3 minutes later, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
That's-
another 20, 30 minutes or whatever.
So that's a pretty good recap of how you're feeling 18 days out, right?
Yeah, I changed so I have that old Mercedes. I have it only. I get to work on it, so it's because it's crusty like I am. But I changed the tires out on it, the wheels. This weekend, snow wheels off and tires for the summer tires, and I did it without any problem.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
I didn't think you could be doing that 2 weeks
it's
in.
probably dumb to do it, but I'm sick of the snow tires on my car. It'll probably snow next week. It's already snowed once in
I know.
June.
It's horrible.
You're-
Utah.
It doesn't surprise me. I've seen it snow July 4th way back when.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's kind of talk about the procedure. What was it like the day before the procedure?
Oh, horrible. My knee, I've already said all that. My
Yeah.
knee it felt like a knife blade in there twisting a little. It really did. It was like, oh, every time I
Yeah.
walk. You guys heard me grunting around here.
I know. It was sad. But it's
I
happy
walked
now.
ball hunched over trying to paper my knee. God.
Yeah.
I don't know how ancestors did that. God help them.
They died.
You'd starve to death.
Yeah.
You couldn't do work with that.
So what did they give you for the procedure? Like,
Versed and ketamine injection. Give it to me. I in my shoulder. It was kind of mild.
so were
but
you
I-
knocked
then
out or
I
was
really-
it?
Well, I went to sleep. I was like,
Yeah.
ugh. Yeah, I wasn't hard sleep, but I went to sleep.
Yeah. Did you feel anything? Those medicines are kind of the anesthetic ones, or
You
the
forget.
amnesia ones. Yeah.
Yeah, you just forget what they did.
So you don't remember anything.
Yeah, I was up and around pretty quick.
And how long was the procedure?
Less than an hour.
And what did you take it, or what did it feel like in the evening after you had the injection?
It was horrible.
Was it worse than before?
Oh God, it was
Yeah.
terrible. It was different, but it was
Yeah.
worse. It felt like my knee was a giant sausage, and there had been 3 gallons of water put in there.
Yeah, it was a little swollen, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He said you could walk around that night. I'm like, I don't know about that, but no, I couldn't. But I took I put ice on it. That was a mistake. I elevated it. That was a big mistake.
Why?
And I'm gonna put all this together in a package. So when we have Dr. Rosenthal on and interview him and stuff, he's coming out with a book on all the procedures he does, which is really cool. But kind of caught him in the middle of that. Yeah, I thought I was ready. I wasn't. I even took. It got so bad. I took OxyContin. I had some of those. I took 2 of them. I think I took 3. It did not touch it, but The other problem I found out is that I received Narcan that day, an injection to bring me out of the ketamine Versed, because I'm really sensitive. I never take anything,
Yeah.
especially no meds.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably why they didn't work. They didn't work at all. So the next morning I went to work and I just was like, it hurts so bad.
Yeah.
I remember I kind of got in there, used a wheelchair to get into the office, and Denise, my wife, pushed me there and took me back to the office, and I got in the chair and sat there. So it was only Friday, so it was only in the morning.
A few patients,
but
yeah.
they were understanding because I was probably crying half the time.
And what was the worst symptom you had? Would it be the pain or would it be...
The swelling, agony, inflammation. No, it wasn't sharp.
Yeah.
It just was really weird. Sorry, that's my foot doing that.
So-
I'm all excited. My feet
He's
start
wiggling.
Yeah.
What did you take for the heat and swelling? You said you tried to put ice on. You tried to elevate. Did you do
Ice
anything
and
else?
elevation, I think, are wrong.
How come?
Because those cells are trying to do their deal, and you're fighting that. You can't take NSAIDs. You can't take ibuprofen or Aleve or aspirin. Not allowed. It will interfere with the healing. And this is a really sensitive situation you're in. So, I still haven't taken any, and don't need them. So I ended up putting glutathione and Serum X on it, and it worked.
Yeah.
And then the swelling went down really quickly, and then it would come back up an hour or two later. I'd wake up again and put it back on. So, but I just kept putting it on all night because NIH has a number of articles on SOD and glutathione, how it should improve rates of healing, and from our observations, they do.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably why I'm doing so good now, 17
Yeah.
days into this.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. But I've done nothing to damage those cells and everything I can to foster they're
Growth,
doing their
yeah.
jobs.
So were you walking the next day, or you said you were in a
I walked.
wheelchair?
A little
Little. And how bad were the
Okay.
first 3 days after the procedure?
horrible.
It was pretty bad. Those
I'm a
first
weenie though. I'm a guy. I'm a doctor. I'm gonna whine on everything. I stubbed my toe. Oh, cancer, stomach cancer. You know,
He has done that.
I've had knee cancer.
You
3
thought,
times.
yeah, you thought
But now I
this
really
was.
do have knee cancer. Well, not really. I've kind of knee cancer.
You've been telling us for a while you thought you had knee cancer. It turns out it was bone on bone.
There it is. If you think you have knee cancer, it's probably bone on bone osteoarthritis.
What about the first week?
Got a lot better. Got a lot better quickly. And the second week last week was really good. Because we had to go take Chantel and down to, she's living with Jared. He's just finishing medical school in Orlando. And so I spent a lot of time in the pool. The pool really helped,
Yeah.
especially at the Grand Floridian. It was a really sweet pool. So, but we had to use those points or never get to use them.
And with the pain, you've only ever taken the Vars and the Revive
Yeah.
and Serum X. You haven't taken any extra. You can't take any acetaminophen, you
I
said.
did take a couple of days. It was really bad, some Tylenol at night. But I figured the glutathione had offset any side effects from that, so good. It probably didn't work because the glutathione was offsetting it anyway.
Mhm.
Maybe I thought I was doing something, so yeah.
Did you have to take any more oxycodone or anything
Oh,
like that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, just after the first night, I give up.
Yeah.
I don't take that stuff anyway. I hate that. I hate pain meds.
And you're still using the Vars Revive and Serum X, right?
Yeah, here they are. Well, first, I'm going to show you my favorite gum. It's Mentos. Okay, I'm not sponsored, but it's just having to be here because it's chewing so. Serum X, I use that, and our Vars Revive, and I just spray it on. I spray this on, wait 3 minutes, apply this, and no
Yeah.
pain.
That helps with inflammation and stuff too, right? The Vars.
The glutathione does, I think, because what it does, it removes inflammatory cytokines and everything.
Yeah.
So those cells are so. I talked to Jared. I watched videos. I've kind of gathered my own science up on it. Those cells create a lot of heat and superoxides and oxides in the work they're doing, and they're trying to regenerate, make things work, and they're burning through a ton of calories and everything else. And so the glutathione and the SOD just is crazy good for them, and it gets rid of the Serum X gets rid of the pain.
Yeah. Do you have any essential oils that you think would help or that you
Yeah,
were taking?
helichrysum.
Say that again?
Helichrysum.
I've never even heard of that one.
Helichrysum is magical.
Yeah.
It helps a lot too.
And what does it do? How does it help?
It helps with healing and inflammation.
Okay. Simple.
who knows? Maybe there'll be a product soon. Well, never know with all that. Oh, never mind. I'll shut up. Okay, never mind.
And who did your stem cell procedure?
Rich Rosenthal. He's in England right now. I think he's working on his book and speaking at some conferences. He'll be back Friday of this week. Should I give out his number? If you want an appointment? Let me don't just call him and say hi. Let me get him.
No, don't give out his phone number.
Well, that's what he said to do if anyone wants to see him.
If you guys are interested, reach out to the clinic and we can give you his contact info.
Is that how you do it?
We don't want to blast his number on Facebook. That might not.
Sorry.
He'll get spam calls and things.
You don't want spam calls.
If you guys are interested, we can
kill
give
me.
you.
He'd come over and beat me up.
He would take your stem cells out. He would
kick me in the knee. Kick me in the knee for giving out his number.
How did you choose him, or why? I mean, you know everybody, so.
I knew he did stem cells. He's really famous for his spine work, his shoulder work. I thought knees and hips were kind of below him, but he said, no, I do them all the time. He does 30 or 40 procedures a day.
It's crazy.
And he's been doing it for years. He's really good. He does them under fluoroscopy, so you can see right where to get the inject them and stuff in the knee. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of watched him do my knee while I was dazed. Yeah. So I thought he was probably the best in the U.S. Again, chair of the American Pain Association. I think it's Pain Association or Pain Society, but he's the man. Yeah. He's written tons of articles, been involved in studies. He's been involved with studies with us in that fibro study way back when. He supplied patients. I think he's laughing at me and then going, good luck. Then when I got him better, he's like, we need to talk.
So funny. We're going to invite him onto a Facebook Live in the future, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely we'll have him on. What was that? Someone hitting the wall there?
Brad probably knocking on the wall.
Brad fell off his chair.
Do you have any other YouTube videos or anything you watched to prep and kind of...
I did. I watched them all. I watched probably 20 or 30 trying to
That's all the videos out there? There's
not a ton. They start duplicating themselves, but go you educate yourself.
Yeah.
Look it all up and look at what I'm posting about it too. I know it's just a hot topic right now with where the world's going right now. You want to have healthy knees. You don't want to have bad knees. So I'm going to get my right knee done now, soon, quickly, because it's mild. It doesn't even bother me, but I know it's there. Yeah. It's going to be like my left will just go one day, and I'll be like, ah. So there's enough structure in there now that I think it'd work a lot better.
Yeah. What about physical therapy to assist in your recovery?
There's a lot of really good videos on there. I'll post them when I post that. I'm going to eventually I'll post my 18 steps, the things you can do to prepare for your stem cells or afterwards to make it successful. Plus I'll post those physical therapy YouTube videos I like. There's like 7 or 8 little exercises you can do before, and I do them after. And there's times you do them week 1, add this in week 2, add this in week 3, week 3 to 4, stuff like that.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for patients with bone-on-bone joint problems right now?
Helichrysum, Serum X, Vars Revive.
What about their hips?
Same.
Shoulders?
Same.
Shoulders?
Shoulders, spine, same.
Spine.
Yeah, do them all. Do all 3. Do it often. Get rid of the inflammation, especially the day of your procedure. Do it, and let Rich get in there and get to work. Whoever you choose. I like that he's done tons. He knows everything about it. He's taught most of the physicians in the U.S. about it. He's that guy. He started it all. His research is impeccable on it.
Yeah.
He's a master of the game. Yeah.
And how are you now?
I'm good. If I walk too much, it'll eventually get a little swollen, a little tight, but that's now like 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm only 17 days out. Can we play a video?
Yeah.
We just did this, right? Like 30 minutes ago.
He's wearing the same outfit. We got a video of him walking.
I did it 30 minutes ago, so just letting everyone know. So go ahead and play it. Okay, this is our Vars Revive. Right on Winnie. Should we get rub? Now we'll time lapse it for 3 minutes. Okay, this is my This is Serum X. Sorry, I carry this in the bag with me at work. Not very classy, but works. Quarter two. 5 minutes. Okay, remember I had stem cells 17 days ago. Okay, let's do this. Thank you. It's not stiff, it's not sore, it just feels normal. Which it did not feel prior to the stem cells. So, walk, a little shiny, because it's not that dry, but it's not pain. Now I actually go up the stairs now too. Bone on bone, horrible, I couldn't walk without agonizing each step, but now, nothing. So 17 days since I had stem cells, here I am. Okay, it's enough, Will. That's because I'm Will videotaping. Okay, love you guys. There it is, that's me. Yeah, I didn't notice I still have a little bit of a lump. It's probably not quite even because my left knee feels like it's got a big sponge in it, which is great, but it's kind of weird.
No, but compared to how you were walking a couple weeks ago, it is like you weren't walking.
It was like I had appendicitis or metastatic cancer in my knee. It was horrible.
It was. So
It's
it's
like,
amazing.
this is so horrible. I'm just going to die in my house and no, I'm even alive. I had zero pain coming up those stairs.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. No pain right now, right?
I'm slow. I'm careful. I don't want to misstep, but not that slow or careful. But yeah, another week or two, I think it'll be almost healed. I'm going to have trouble keeping everything slow and careful
Yeah.
for 2 or 3 months total, but I'm going to do it.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I'll get my right knee done next. I'm going to do it. So,
It's good.
um,
I think those are all my questions for you.
Rich
So-
does spines. Mostly he's really good at that, but also hips, knees, or shoulders. He's the man. So he didn't ask me to do all that. I'm just thankful he took care of me on this. So adroit at it, adept.
It's awesome.
Okay, any questions coming up?
Let's see. What about if it's a torn rotator cuff? Do you think that might help?
Yeah, you can get stem cells injections into your rotator.
Wow.
Into tendons. He'd be the man to know, or at least call his office. We'll get his number from us and call him, and they'll tell you if they can do.
Yeah. What about a Baker's cyst? I don't know what that is.
No, it's not going to affect
Okay.
that.
I didn't know what that
That's
was.
just a pain in the back of your knee, big swollen cyst.
Mm.
It's a knee joint capsule problem, popping out, balloons out.
Let's see.
You have orthopedists take that out very carefully.
Sorry, there's like a lot of comments, but not much questions.
Okay, cool.
What was you just want to say? What's the difference between glutathione and Vars Revive? Our Vars that we have now and our Vars Revive.
Not much.
Do you want me to talk about it a little
Yeah,
bit?
go ahead, Jackson.
Yeah. So the Vars Revive is a new product coming out on Physician Design. It's all made. We're just waiting for it to ship to us, and so otherwise we would have it readily available right
That's
now.
a prototype bottle, yeah.
Yeah, we have like just a few bottles here on hand, and you've been using it lovingly.
Mhm.
So Vars Revive is the topical version of Vars liposomal glutathione, which is our oral supplement. They're both our exact same glutathione, just one meant for oral consumption, one meant for topical use. If you guys remember our Shingular product, this is very similar to that one, but much better packaging compared to what we had
Can's
done.
a lot better.
Yeah, it's a bag-on-valve
Yeah,
canister versus a compressed
Really long
canister.
shelf life, yeah.
Yep. So this is a much better version of our old Shingular product, but we decided to bring it out as Vars glutathione as well. Vars topical Revive mist. or
There's
something
no
like
essential oil in the Revive.
Correct. Yep. Nothing. It's just glutathione. There's no other flavorings or anything. It does have the liposomes again. So there's a soy lecithin in it. So if you have
If
allergies
you're
to
allergic
that,
to the soy lecithin, don't.
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Be careful about that. But otherwise, it's just straight glutathione in water in liposomes.
It's really a soft mist when it's sprayed on.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a really fine little. You can't even feel it hardly. But then you feel it cooling off. My knee swelling goes down, and stuff is amazing.
Yeah. No, it's
And
our
a lot of
glutathione.
unintentional benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Now, for all sorts of topical skin irritations, obviously that's where it's huge. But for other a little bit deeper cosmetic. We have to say cosmetic
Yeah, it's
indications.
Cosmetically, it's crazy.
Yeah, big anti-inflammatory benefits.
Yeah. It's when we tested it ourselves for what it does to wrinkles, it's the most anti-wrinkling substance we'd ever seen.
Yeah.
In our tests, so.
Yeah.
Because it
There's-
denatures the cross-linking that occurs with wrinkles on the face and everywhere.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, I didn't expect these benefits from it on my knee. It's definitely rejuvenating things down there. It's the best way to say it. Cools things off and rejuvenates.
It's almost like it's reviving you.
Okay. Reviving me. Reviving my knee. It's cured me of knee cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, we're joking. That's a joke. FTC, just a joke.
He likes to joke he has cancer everywhere. We don't. It's not a good joke. It's scary.
Okay, thanks, Brecken, for ratting me out.
You're welcome.
Okay, we better let these guys
Yeah.
go. They want to get back to their lunch. So,
Thanks for coming, guys.
hey, thank you. And if you have questions, put them in there and we'll try and answer them. God bless and whatever. Go in good health.